Because even though I want freedom, I know that there's a certain discipline and there's a certain aspect of responsibility that I need to have.
Right.
Right. Like doing this takes discipline.
Right. To maintain freedom, or even to maintain freedom.
Yeah. See, freedom is dangerous. Right. And this is what most people don't realize about freedom. Right. Alan Watts has this line, and I love it because it's hilarious. Right. For me, it's like the moment you teach a child to walk is the moment that you could teach the child to kick his mother.
Yeah.
The moment you teach a kid or someone to use a knife is the moment you're teaching them how to stab someone.
Of course.
Right? Because it is all a matter of how we perceive freedom to be.
Yeah.
Is freedom the idea for a certain group? Right? Or is freedom a human idea for everybody? Right? Now, can you have complete freedom? No, because that's anarchy. People just doing whatever they want, just being driven by impulse and emotions, right? And desires and natural drives.
Yeah.
Right? Even with that, nature balances itself out, right? It finds an equilibrium, right? So it's the same thing for us. Freedom needs to be contained within a framework, within a disciplined framework on what it looks like to us. Because let's say, for instance, the sun. The sun is constantly giving, right? But that energy gets manifested in very specific things, right? The energy goes into the minerals, it goes into the plants, it goes into the animals, it goes into us, right? So that energy has a vessel or a form in which it manifests it, right? Same thing with freedom. We have to give it a form in order for it to be properly expressed.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Oh, that was, hey, high five on that one. That was pretty good. I like that. No, I like it. It's a really, because I'm listening to you because I want to make sure that you're not like all up in the blue.
No.
And that you're down, that so that it makes sense.
Yes.
And that was a really great way to express that, because freedom to a lot of people means I want to be able to be free, just do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yep.
Okay, but how? So you have to have some, like you said, discipline and methodologies in place.
Yes.
In order to attain and maintain freedom.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, just to make it even more poignant, right? Animals are free, right?
Sure.
Right? They're free in terms of they just follow their own biological patterns. They don't have to report to a 9 to 5. They don't have to do this. They have their families go and whatever, right?
Right.
So, but animals have a certain discipline, right? Because they contribute to the whole in their own specific way, right? So a lion might sleep for 20 hours a day, but the next 4 hours, guess what? They're either securing or hunting.
Right.
Right? So that requires a certain level of discipline, right?
Yeah.
Plants need to every night the leaves go in, right? And then when the sun comes out, they come out because they need to take the energy. That takes discipline, right? But they're free in the way that we understand it,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to understand as well that in order for us to evolve, we have to walk away from the places that don't allow us that growth anymore.
Right.
That growth to feel that sense of freedom, that we could create what environment fits us best. That's the importance of walking away.
Right.
To be that change agent that is going to bring something about, right? That's why we always say life and leading, right? We focus on life and leading. Because consequently, if you begin to look at things differently, if you walk away, from environments that are oppressive, condescending, demeaning, right? That take away the energy of people, right? And then you walk away and you create an environment that is nourishing, right? That it involves people's creative faculties, that you understand who is an entrepreneur, who is the directors, who are the technicians, and I'm using like the E-Myth terminology somewhat, right? that, understanding those things, so you create an environment where all those things are value, and then you're working towards something. That's a disciplined way of using and allowing people to be and manifest their own energies.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's all in. If you are feeling that, the fear of the unknown, right, could be mitigated. Right. It's risk to rewards. Okay, if I live this situation, right, what are the consequences? Okay, what are the consequences financially? What are the consequences emotionally?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number one, financially, what do I need to do to maintain a certain lifestyle? Does it mean that I have to go into bankruptcy? Does it mean that I have to do this, do that? What will make me be okay financially, right? After that, the question is, okay, how do I want to? What is it that I want to feel with the information, with what I know? What would I like to do?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can create it, who can I align myself with that my values and where I am in life aligns with?
Right.
Right. So those two things are the process of figuring out when to walk away from something that no longer serves your soul, no longer serves your intellect, no longer serves where you are. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies to families. It applies to relationships. It applies to work. It applies to society. Sometimes society is so hell-bent on maintaining a certain idea.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That we'll kill each other for it.
That's so true. That's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to look into those things. Again, I'm looking at you kind of like list over here. Recognizing the misalignment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing when you're misaligned with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cost of staying too long. What does it cost to you long term to stay at a place that you don't want to be in? Right? Think about it costs your life.
Mm-hmm. Time.
It costs time, right? It costs, not to mention the emotional and physical damage that it causes as well.
Yeah, it's a you're taking a hit to your confidence, your abilities, you're diminishing your opportunities.
Yeah. And you're and again, consequently, your body.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
affected.
your body is totally affected. If you're staying in a relationship or a work environment or in anything, a friendship, it could even be a friendship or even like family.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to say,
we want to talk about family.
it's time. It's time.
Episode, and I was doing some stuff on looking into just some family challenges and all that stuff. And one of the things that came up was the fact that
For family?
for family, it's the fact that it's your family. Sometimes it's not the people in your room, the people that you grew up in your room. Sometimes that's not what family looks like. Sometimes that's not what family is.
That's true.
And sometimes you got to accept that and understand those things before you could continue to move forward.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think you went off on a tangent there, but okay.
No.
I think that
going back to this, right? You have to have the courage, like you mentioned, to leave with integrity.
Right.
Have that integrity to be able to leave.
Leaving with integrity, meaning you're not leaving because you failed.